Welcome, everybody, to the Daybreak podcast. I'm Luke, your host, and I am joined here by my fellow host, Kevin.
What's up?
And this week we have a lovely guest, and his name is Gus. Gus, why don't you introduce yourself?
What's up, everybody? It was good. I'm Gustavo. Gustavo Cordero. A lot of people don't even know how to pronounce my name right, but that's why people call me Gus. So, yeah, man. I'm 21, living in Raleigh. 919.
There you go. There you go.
Thanks for inviting me.
There you go.
Of course.
All right.
Thank you for coming on. This week's episode of Daybreak is going to be a bit more focused. Sorry, my alarm is going off. This week's podcast is going to be a little bit more focused on spike ball. So if you are interested in spike ball or really just sports in general, I think this is going to be a good episode for you. So that does it for the intro. All right, Kev, how about you start us off?
So great intro, Luke. It was beautiful. We have Gus here. Gus is actually, I want to give a little bit more of an intro to Gus, more spike ball wise. I started playing spike ball a year ago, and my first ever competitive pickup that I went to with people.
That was not a year ago. That was about like 8-9 months ago.
It was a year ago, bro. Swear, April. Because the tournament in Raleigh that just happened with Josh, that was like a year. That was like a year of me doing tournaments.
Oh, dude. Because my first tournament was in June. In 2020, yeah.
No shot, dude. So maybe
I swear to God, dude.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was September. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to look at the dates again.
It was September, but go ahead.
Anyways, my first big pickup, pickup with competitive people that were like going to tournaments. Gus was actually there, and I sucked. I was horrible. Gus also sucked, but he sucked less than I did. So I got my butt handed to me. I'm just being real. If we played ourselves from a few months ago, we would wipe the floor with them. It's not even close.
100%.
Yeah, right?
100%.
So I wanted to bring him on, talk about a few things because Spikeball's been getting big this year. They had a lot of things happen with new rules. I moved to Florida, so I got to experience Spikeball in North Carolina and in Florida. Gus, I wanted to talk to you about the new rules, about serving line being 7 feet back with lean, the no-hit zone, the soft touch rule. Those are pretty much the big three that they added. How did your serve get affected from the 7-foot lean? How did your spikes get affected with the no-hit zone? And then how you feel about soft touch in general. Go.
Oh, what can I say? Serve-wise, I don't think I'm the best.
Very inconsistent. Very inconsistent.
I mean, serve-wise, actually, it's not a big of a difference. It's only like a foot, and you can still lean in. So, it wasn't a big difference. I actually liked it more in farther away and closer. I don't know why. It might be I get more angle with it. I don't know. But, dude, spiking, honestly, I like it a lot better because it's way easier to read the defense, defense-wise. If you're gonna spike it, you pretty much have an idea where people's gonna do it. But for myself, dude, spiking, it wasn't that bad, honestly, because I liked it. I usually used to play volleyball,
Yeah.
So I mean, it's pretty much like outside and just like reach out. And at first, it was really uncomfortable. I remember playing my first tournament with the no-hit zone. Sucked at it in the pool play. I was literally just stepping in every single time. And then bracket play came in, and I was like, okay, let's do this, man.
Yeah, you had to turn
up. And and I was like, let's do it. I mean, I'm sucking right now, but this is the new thing. I have to learn it.
Yeah, you have to adapt. You have to adapt.
I have to make it my way. So I did that. Dude, pool play, it was terrible. We lost every single game pool play. We played about 5 games in pool play. And we have a visitor real quick. And sorry, we lost 5 games in pool play, all of them, bad. They were bad. First game we lost by 7 points. Second game we lost by 6, and so on, dude. We were playing expert though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sorry about that.
It's really interesting to hear about all of these rule changes coming from like an outsider who, I mean, I've played spike ball before, but I'm not really big into the scene. My really only connection to the scene is Kevin. But it seems like spike ball is hitting a spot in that most sports hit. I know it hit with football and with basketball, really all the more popular sports, where the more popular it became, the more organized it had to be, and the more rule changes you're gonna see.
Yeah.
I mean, I
that's a
like
big
the about the idea of changing stuff because what was serve ball, it was a big thing without these new rules. Literally, if you didn't have a cut serve or a strong serve that you could ace people constantly, then you're fucked pretty much.
Yeah.
So now that they added the no hit zone, dude, you have more opportunity. Defense, to reach defense. Because defense before the no hit zone, it was good if you knew how to play it out. But otherwise, dude, you was get right.
Yeah, I just think it's cool to see the sport of spike ball evolve like before my eyes. Like I've seen the early stages of spike ball when Kevin was first getting into it. I've seen like the tournament side of it through Kevin's Snapchats. It's really cool, like as someone who's not very into sports, to see something like that grow.
Yeah. So another thing, actually, I wanted to add how these tournaments are laid out, because I played 7 years of lacrosse, and the way tournaments were laid out for lacrosse was you had your seed going into the tournament, because like they would go through, they would look at your team, they'd analyze it, and they'd be like, oh, they're probably this seed or whatever. With spike ball, they can't really do that because like people can switch partners weekend to weekend. They can't be like, oh, statistically these guys are probably gonna win. So they have to go through pool play before the tournament, and that's like that's series of 3 going into like 4 games or 4 series or 5 series is, and then you get your seed, then you get put into bracket play. So these spike ball tournaments, it's not just bracket the whole time. It's like you have to earn your spot in bracket, and the better you do in pool play, the easier it's going to be to get to the finals due to your route. Now, that's not to say that I have not seen a bunch of people that got first seed in pool play get out first round because they got caught.
Yeah, first round.
Yeah. Or
happens a lot. That happens a lot. Like it's so normal. About like you can do so well in pool play, but bracket play you can just fall apart. Like it happened to me before, and it happened to a lot of people that I know. And a lot of experts and pro players, they always say this thing. It's about don't give it all in pool play. Like it don't matter if you lose a game in pool play, as long as you're doing good and you feel good, like your body feels good. But in bracket play, dude, you're set.
Yeah, because
you literally
bracket
play
plays
about
what
8
matters,
hours,
man.
9 hours in spike ball.
Yeah, these tournaments are long, man. You're starting at 9 a.m. and then you're not getting done until like 5. Like and it can just brutally affect your body.
So now I'm curious. For the future of spike ball, as it evolves further and further into the mainstream and possibly into like televised events, how do you think the professional scene is going to play out?
So,
do you think that each partner is going to work on a per person basis, as in like each player will have their own sort of brand, or do you think it's going to be an organized teams with different sets of players that they can interchange throughout the tournament?
So, actually, I've done some thinking about this. So there's a lot of players out there that have huge names and they're just known for their ability, like the Preston Buys, the Caleb Hecks, which Preston Buys and Caleb Heck play together as a team. They're boisterous. And then there's people, and they're usually playing with just each other, right? Unless one of them can't make it to the tournament, but 9 times out of 10 they're playing with each other. But then there's also people like Michael Sue, who just picks up, plays with anyone, and he'll go and get third in a tournament like it's nothing, and he can play with anyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as the sport evolves and you're getting more into the pro scene, and Gus, I want to hear your take on this because it might be different from mine. As it gets more into the pro scene, I would love to see teams get formed, like teams of 10. For instance, Gus is the captain of Kappa Drinka Delta, a spikeball team. And I would love to see teams like that form where, like, halfway through the tournament, like, you can't just switch out people. But if one of your guys gets injured, you do have that secured extra person to come in because he's also part of your team. And if you're also in a tournament and it's like this Kappa Drinka Delta players, there's like 2 Kappa Drinka Delta players playing together and then another 2 and another 2, you just go in with like Kappa Drinka Delta, then Kappa Drinka Delta B, Kappa Drinka Delta C. So like,
yeah,
it can work like that.
That's kind of tricky though.
Yeah, it does get kind of tricky. It does get kind of tricky. I think.
Just think about it. If just say that about like having 2 players, and if somebody gets injured, like this one comes out. A lot of people can just be like, in the middle of bracket play, like I have a cramp, or I twist my ankle or something like that, just to the other player make it to the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so like you have like fresh legs or something like that, like
fresh legs, fresh player. So if you're fresh, you're gonna do better than the people that already been playing for the whole day. And it actually happened to us. My second ever tournament, I had a really bad cramp going from my hips to my ankle. Dude, I barely could.
I remember that.
And we had Chase. We had one of our friends, Chase. He literally drove just with us just to watch the tournament, and from Raleigh to Virginia Beach. And dude, literally, I told him before the tournament, dude, if something happened to me, most likely, you're just gonna go in and play for me. And dude, literally happened in semifinals. I had a cramp, and he had to go in. And a lot of people were really, really fan about it. Like people were not happy with it. And we were like, well, we're noobs, we don't care. And we ended up taking 3rd place.
Yeah, I can imagine, but I mean, in a situation like that, is it more fair to swap that teammate out? Because if you're forcing that player to play with an injury, then you're inherently putting that team at a disadvantage. So the smartest thing to do in that case would be to just back out, right? So if Spikeball is going to go in a more competitive direction, there needs to be that assurance of, these games need to be played. And even if a player gets an injury, one player shouldn't prevent an entire game from being played.
Yeah.
So this is pretty much about Spikeball teams. It's only like two players team. But if you want to make it, just like you're saying, more sport, like sportsmanship, like in a pro level, what it could happen is make a team. Like you make up 6-player teams. That's 3 teams right there, and make it compete with another team with 3 teams with 6. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So whoever wins, that's the team that won. Like stuff like that. That's how it
is. Sort of a mix between like the matchup versus like tournament style. I like that.
Yeah. I did. Yeah. So talked a little bit about new rules. I want to touch on something else. So Spikeball is something that if you stay inside your bubble, me and Gus are both Raleigh players, or I guess I'm not a Raleigh player anymore, but I used to be, and Gus is. If you're staying inside your city and you're just playing that East Mid-Atlantic, so I'm talking Georgia, Raleigh, or Georgia, North Carolina, and Virginia, which is like pretty much Mid-Atlantic. There was a whole series about it in the summer where pretty much it was like almost like the Battle of the States. But if you go down more south to Florida where I am, the game's just played differently. What I mean by that is if you're in North Carolina or that Mid-Atlantic, it is a lot of finesse. It's a lot of cut. It's a lot of when you're over the net, you're just like faking going one direction. So like you could be going like this and then like hit your wrist back like that, right? It's a lot of faking. It's a lot of finesse. When I came down to Florida, I had trouble adjusting to Florida's style of play because Florida just smashes the ball. And when they're serving, they don't have a lot of cut, but they have a lot of angle. So where I was used to in Raleigh, the ball just like hitting the net and having spin. So you're expecting it to go further after it hits the net. So you shade over a little bit more. In Florida, I kept on messing up because I would overshade over because I would be like, oh, he's gonna cut this ball or he's gonna reverse it or something like that, and then he would just hit it straight at me and it would just jam me, like it would hit my belly button, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. Well, in September, me, Gus, and 10 other people from Raleigh, we all went to nationals in Utah. I noticed in Utah they have a lot of finesse and a lot of power, the people that play in Utah. So Gus, I wanted to ask you, how do you think do you think it's going to stay like this where people are just different how they play all over, or do you think everyone's going to eventually come in and have kind of the same play style?
Well, I don't think everybody can have the same play style, you know. Just like we play in Raleigh, just like you say, it's way different than Florida. Same thing with Atlanta, dude. Have you ever go to a tournament in Atlanta?
I don't think I played one in Atlanta yet, no.
Dude, they're on a whole different thing, like a whole different breed. Just like you say, they build different.
They build different, bro.
Dude, it's just crazy how, like, you know, Virginia Beach plays different than Richmond. Richmond plays different than Raleigh, stuff like that, you know? So if you're a person that just stays in your place, like you only play tournaments when it's like near you, you know, like just in Raleigh, for example, then your gameplay is just gonna be the same. But if you are a person that travels a lot for Spikeball, which is, there's a lot of players that been driving and taking flights every weekend, pretty much, to go to different tournaments in different places, then yeah, you definitely are gonna get like different play styles and make it, you know, mix it and make it your own. So I'd say community-wise, if you have a strong community, just like Utah, I feel like if you're a new player, you're gonna get used to it, to the play style really quick, and you're gonna get good really quick. So, you know, I don't think people here in the Southeast can have the same play style that do, because people here just want to be tricky.
Yeah.
Utah, these people want to be strong and they just want to win no matter what and get the points. They don't mess around. These people don't be doing the flicks. They don't be doing that stuff. These people will just rocket the ball at you and get the point. That's all they want. Make the job go.
Huh. It's really interesting that Spikeball has that sort of open-endedness for different types of play styles. Like you can be a bit more aggressive and more powerful with your spikes, or you can be a bit more, you know, careful and finesse them and be a bit more angular with how you how you throw it. I think it's cool that, and I think as Spikeball grows, I think like the different play styles from the different community are gonna get a lot more popular and a lot more defined.
So I wanted to bring this up. Obviously, there are states that, in my opinion, are better than others, Spikeball wise.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Like, I think, I'm not going to say states, but we're going to say state 1 versus state 2. If they were to go against each other, I think state 1 would win. I know neither of you know which states I'm thinking in my head, but it's just because if they were, like, if their expert players were to go against each other, I think state 1 would win. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now, there's experts everywhere. There's experts in every single state that you play in. Not everyone has access to being able to play with those expert players all the time. For me, I was really lucky because I got to play with not necessarily expert, but really high advanced, sometimes expert, when Juan would come out, like when Bowl City would come out to pick up, but high advanced like Joe Rojas, Jake Dome, those people. And in Florida, I have access to like Dom Orlando and Jace Pittle, or Pitbull? I'm so sorry if I'm messing up his name. You have access to these high-level people. And when you're playing against those high-level people, you inherently get better. So what about the people that don't know those expert people, right? Like, they don't know where they are. They can't play with them, so on and so forth. How do you think they can get better if they're not seeing that high talent? You know what I'm saying?
You just grind.
I
work, dude. I didn't know nobody when I first started. I remember when I met Brent, actually. This is the funniest story I think I have, Spikeball related. So I started about a year ago, like just friendly playing. And I remember I was overplaying my friends. I was like, dude, I'm this shit in this game. Like, I can be in ESPN right now. Like, I'm the best. So I got obsessed with the game. I downloaded the Spikeball app, and I started looking for new people to play. Because once you feel like you're the best, you want to play other people just to show them that you're the best. So that's pretty much the reason why I did it. And I downloaded it, and I texted Brent, which is the TD from Roundnet. I texted him saying like, "Hey man, you want to play?" The only thing he said was when and where. I was like, "Geez, okay, I like it." So I sent him the address and the time, and he pulled up. And I remember that was the first time I ever played in a pro net. I was like, "Dude, he has a pro set, bro! Oh my gosh!" Because we were playing just in the regular set. So we thought this man was. We thought he invented a spike ball. We thought he was the owner. So funny. This man, I mean, tell me, dude, like 30-ish years old, dude, pull-ups with like 3 bags of spike ball, cleats, spike ball hat, spike ball shirt, like 40 balls.
And keep in mind, hey, like, I'm gonna cut you off real quick, Luke. Keep in mind, Brent is like 65. Just kidding.
Yeah, no,
just kidding. He's like 42. He's like 42, but I always joke around with him. I joke around with him. I had to throw in the little jab there.
He's the old man. He's the old man.
He's the old man.
But
He's the grandpa,
it's good to see him play. This man is really smart with it.
So, actually, I have a really funny story involving Brent with the tournament director that you just reminded me. So, my second ever tournament, I played with my brother, my older brother. Now, my older brother used to be very, very athletic, but at the time, he was not in the greatest shape, right? So, anyways, we're going through the tournament. We're just losing. Like, it was my second tournament, It was what it was. Well, Brent and I'm pretty sure it was Luke or Levi Rogers. Luke or Levi Rogers and Brent were playing together. And we go up against them. And my brother looks at me. He goes, "Oh, it's just a dad and his kid. It's no problem." And I'm like, Grant. I'm like, you don't understand. This dad and this kid are about to like kick our ass. Like, I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. He goes, "Nah, man, easy claps. So whatever. Me and my brother, we get first serve. So I serve, and I'm pretty sure it was Levi. It has to have been Levi. Levi returns it, and then just like puts it away, just like immediately. And my brother looked at me and he goes, "Bro, 1 point, it ain't no worry." Then it was Brent's serve. At the time, I had only been playing Spikeball for probably like 3 weeks, probably at that point.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I'd only been playing for like 3 weeks at that point. And Brent just went on like a 10-point ace spree. Like, it was gross. He was just
yikes.
And I looked at my brother laughing, and I was like, "Dude, I told you, man. This old man and this kid are nothing to be worried about." He's like, "Yeah, I see that." I was like, they're nothing to just like blink an eye at.
Worry about, yeah.
Yeah, they're nothing to just blink an eye at. He was like, "Oh my god." So it was just really funny. A lot of people sleep on Brent when they first see him. They're like, "Oh, it's an old guy. He can't do much," and they're like, "Oh my gosh, he's got skill."
Yeah. I think it's cool how accessible Spikeball is, because it's a pretty simple game. Like, you can teach it to someone in an afternoon.
Yeah.
Like, it's not too intense. But like, the community is so like, it's so strong. At least it seems from an outsider hearing all of these stories. It seems like the community is really strong and really helpful and really willing to get more people into the sport, which is it's cool to see.
At the roots, that is 100, and honestly at the roots and at the surface, pretty much that's the case. You always want to get people involved in the game, but something I've noticed being in Florida is Raleigh. I'm gonna out Raleigh a little bit here. Raleigh talks a lot of shit. All right.
100%, 101%, my friend. Whoever's watching this, hey, I'm gonna do this straight up to the camera. If you're watching this and you're from Raleigh, dude, we do talk a lot of shit.
Raleigh,
we talk about every single player that comes in and out of the state. We talk about each other. This is toxic. I love Raleigh. Raleigh Roundnet.
Roundnet's low key toxic.
Like, we all toxic, man. Like, do not trust the word because these people just want to be nice to you. We're toxic,
dude.
including myself. We're all toxic.
So
I'm just saying.
Raleigh, like Gus said, toxic. We just like we roast each other. We'll come back like Jacob. I live rent free in Jacob's head. Swear. Because like I'll just start talking to him and getting him in his head because I've played him so much I know how to do it. Same with Gus. So like when Raleigh people go against each other in tournaments, it is a bloodbath. Like it is a mental bloodbath. It is insane. So I came down to Florida, right? And I was thinking, because the only exposure I had was Raleigh, really. And I was thinking, oh, this is probably how the game is everywhere. Like, everyone talks a little shit. I come down to Florida, people are just the nicest people ever. They're just trying to uplift you. They're just trying to keep the vibes happy. I was like, oh my God, this is insane. But, like, I was like, oh, like, everyone's so loving here. And, like, in tournament, no one talks shit to each other. Everyone's silent. Everyone's focused. Like, you'll let go. You'll be like screaming, like let's go and stuff. But in Raleigh, here's where the difference is. In Raleigh, the screaming let go is to get in the other person's head. In Florida, it's like to get the whole game hyped, pretty much. Like it's, I don't know how else to explain it other than just Raleigh's toxic, but it's so much fun.
Honestly, like
it's my favorite spikeball community. It is my favorite spikeball community out of all of them.
Raleigh or Florida?
Raleigh, because of how much shit. Because like, dude, I played 7 years of lacrosse,
beefy,
man.
Dude,
I played 7 years of lacrosse. Like, I love the shit talk. I love it. And
Yeah,
Gus,
no,
I know you played soccer. I know you played soccer,
think-
so you're all here with it.
I think growing up in Raleigh just it raises you to have tough skin and to talk shit. If you are competing, you talk shit. Even if someone is clearly better than you, no, they're not. They're garbage and they're going down.
Dude,
I never say
it's
they're
just how-
bad or not. But
that's just how you're taught to live here.
I wouldn't say talk shit. I just talk. I'm really raw when it comes to telling people stuff.
Gus goes, I don't talk shit. I'm just honest.
I do not mind telling you you're bad at something or you just cannot work it out. Like I know a lot of people, dude, you suck.
Oh,
you just suck.
My favorite power move is losing like 8 points in a row, getting one, and then calling the other person trash, and then watching them get so heated out of nowhere. It's so funny.
Yo, fun fact.
If something like that happens to me, I might just look at him and be like,
Gus, it did happen to you. You want to know why? Because I was the one that did it to you, and then I came back and won the game, and you were so mad about it. It wasn't in a tournament. It was literally in pickup, and I was just messing. What is it, a pickup
or what's it, a tournament?
It was just pickup. I was just messing with you, and I was sitting there. And
hold up. Pickup and tournaments are way different.
Pickup and tournaments are different. Yeah,
100%.
But it was just really funny because you just saw Gus get mad because he was like, "Dude, are you kidding me?" And then I got in your head, man. Lived in there, rent free, no problem. Penthouse suite. It was beautiful.
This is the thing. A lot of people trying to finesse in this sport, like hunting. A lot of people just trying to finesse points, and I think that's one of the most. The call ball, like people making calls.
Yeah, Preston buy. Hey, I love Preston buys. I'm gonna hopefully be hanging out with him on Tuesday. If my corona test comes back negative, I'm gonna be hanging out with Preston Buys on Tuesday. However, he is call ball. Love him, call ball.
Jake Dome, call ball.
Jake Dome is also call ball.
100%, dude. This man is good. He knows it, but he's not that good, and he knows it. He just wanna,
He's good. Up. He knows it. He's not that good.
He's not that good. Tommy Drake, not that good. Ben Navarro, not even.
You don't think Tommy Drake is good? Yo. Yo, Gus, chill out. Hold on. I'm capping Gus. I'm capping Gus real quick.
We cannot hear you.
Okay, so Tommy Drake is good. We're not gonna sit here and say Tommy Drake is bad.
He's not that good. Tommy's not good. I mean, he's tall. That's a really big advantage. But other than that, he gets in his head so much, dude, that just messes a lot. And a lot of people, it's just, the OG at least, that's the most, cocky people in the spikeball like, community. They're really cocky. There's a lot of cocky people here. Also,
Gus, you're really cocky though.
Dude, that's
Gus,
why I like the
Gus,
so much.
Gus, I have this question for you. You're a really cocky person when you play. I've seen you play tournaments. I've watched you play. I've played with you.
Yeah.
You're cocky, man. You strut around with your chin up, chest out, thinking you're the shit. Is that I want to know?
Dude, that's the mindset.
That's the mindset. That's the mindset you're always in.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to know, do you ever turn that off? Cause I hang out with you outside of Spikeball and it's still on, so I just like, you know.
Damn.
He's trying to be funny. He's the funniest.
Resident comedian.
Bro, hey, you know, that's my job, man. I always thought while I was playing Spikeball in Raleigh, my job was to keep the people entertained. I would go up to like Juan Ruiz, who's the #1 player in North Carolina, and I'd just be walking past him and I'm like, you're trash. Like, I would just do it as a joke. And then I also did it to Connor Hart. Connor Hart's #3 in North Carolina. And I played against him for the first time a few weeks ago when I was back in Raleigh. And I just started talking shit to him just because. I was like, he's clearly better than me. And he, like, received all of my spikes, which made me pretty upsetty spaghetti. But, like, yo, I just, you know, you talk shit to talk shit. It's fun. Anyways.
Oh, yeah, dude. I love
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I do not love it, but, I mean, it makes the game more spicy, if you want to call it that way. It's making beef. Dude, I've had so many beef in tournaments that you cannot even imagine, dude.
It makes you focus more almost. And like when people, Gus actually gets, I'm gonna side with Gus on this. Gus gets a lot of undeserved hate in tournaments. I do think so. He gets a lot of people starting beef with him, and he'll also start beef with people. So
dude, people just like, I don't know. I just hear myself. Sorry for interrupt you, but dude, I just feel like everybody just want to beat me. I'm like, dude, I'm not that good.
Yo,
I'm not that good.
Does
I don't get it.
But here's the question.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with having that much confidence.
Here's the question. Does it make you focus more? Because for me, when people talk shit, I go to a dark space in my head and I'll just start being cracked. If people are talking shit.
This is the thing. Usually people that talk shit, they're not better than you. No?
Yeah.
But if we already know each other, you know, and we play together like here and there in pickups, and we used to talk shit, and it actually got like outside the joke part, like you actually saying, like you actually meaning to say like you're trash, then it gets serious. Like you'd be like, okay, let's play it out, you know. And dude, yeah, just like that, man. I just like beefing and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like shit talking it's part of the game. Like, if you are going to play a sport, you should be able to temper your emotions enough to play a game.
Dude, I had to. Go ahead. I'm just, all this stuff coming in my mind right now. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
No, what was the question?
It wasn't necessarily a question. It was a statement. Yeah. It was. If you're playing a sport, you should be able to keep pretty much like a leveled head enough to be able to still play. But
yeah,
here's where I want to add something. Is you try to get people, and the way I started playing in the beginning when I wasn't good, and the only way I was winning games was shit talking. Seriously, like you can ask Josh, who was my old partner. If we won a game, it was because I was in the person's ear the whole time. Like seriously.
Oh yeah.
So, what you like? There's a balance. There's a doing it as a joke and everyone kind of laughing it off, and then there's the actually getting in their head, so they can't play the sport, right?
Yeah.
Like that's where if you're talking shit, if you're genuinely like real about this talking shit, that's where you strive to be. You know what I'm saying? And some people are easier to get into their heads than others. Like Gus was really bad at it a few months ago. Like not gonna lie, this is just me being honest. Gus was really bad at it a few months ago. You could say, yo, just make sure you hit inside the yellow circle, and then he wouldn't hit a serve for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I would.
I'm just like
if they'd be like hit the yellow thing, and I'd be like literally couldn't put a serve on.
Yeah, and it was just like, but it is what it is. But you learned. Okay, I need to like not let people get in my head, and you got out of that, which is very annoying to me, by the way, because now I can't say that to you, and it work. So I have to be more creative with my roasts.
Dude, I remember I've got mad so many times in tournaments that one time I just went off. I remember I was cursing so loud, like the whole tournament could hear me. And just like
he had to do a public apology for that, by the way.
Yeah, I did a public apology because, dude, after the tournament, because it's like, you know, when you're playing competitive or playing a sport, you're trying to give it all, you know. But outside, you're a nice person. But inside the game, dude, you're all set. You just want to beat everybody that is in front of you, you know, play your best. And that's literally what happened to me. And actually, I remember I was playing with some guys from Atlanta up here in Raleigh. It was quarterfinals. It was me and Jacob. And I remember they were talking shit. Like, straight up, even before the game started, they were already talking shit to us. And I was like, who are they? Who are these guys? I don't even know you. This guy is saying that he was premier like a year ago. I was like, dude, you're not that good either. What are you talking about? So, dude, I remember Jacob aced him. I aced him. We aced him twice. And then it was literally starting the game. And this guy started calling too close. Like, we were stepping in the circle or we were serving too close. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, dude, my serve is just clean. And he just kept all this stuff just to get points out of me. And dude, I got mad. Like, we literally had a whole crowd around the circle, and it was kind of hype to see like everybody just like being close to watch or beef. That actually turned me on, and the game was tight. It was literally one point you, 1 point me, back and forth the whole game. I kind of liked it. But after that, dude, I'm trying to be the nicest person now.
Yeah, I think at least from my experience with like video games, once you start shit talking in a competitive way, one of two things will happen. Either A, the person you're shit talking will get really tilted and will start sucking, or you will push them to a place where they will start to like just go fucking off, and you will play one of the best games of your life. Yeah. It's those close games that are like, they're the most fun. You don't want to just have a blowout game, because that's boring. You want to have like some tension there. You want to have some suspense.
Yeah, and also when I've had the experience of a crowd watching your game once. I've had it once in a tournament, and it turns you on, bro. It makes you a demon almost. Like, you're like, okay, there's what like. And, like, I'm not talking big crowds. I'm talking 10 people are watching, and you're still sitting there, and you're like, I can't embarrass myself in front of these 10 people. I got to turn it on, you know? And
100%.
But the messed up part is the other team is thinking the same thing. So it's just clash of, like, that. I feel like those games really decide who's the best out of that game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you have the attention. You have literally at least 10 people. It could be, like, just, you know, a small group of people just watching your game. But you're like, dude, they're watching me play. You know, you feel good inside. It's like a boost. You'd be like, ooh, I gotta play good, man. I have to play good.
Oh yeah, it's really cool to have that kind of encouragement. Like, even if you do lose, being involved in like a moment like that where like it's you versus the other guy, and everyone's watching, and everyone's picking a side, and everyone's cheering. Like that's cool.
Yeah.
But also, a lot of people have to understand. I mean, Spikeball is a two-man tournament sport. You know, it's not always your fault. It could be your friend, or it could be your partner, or it could be you. You know, so a lot of people be saying like, "Oh, you're trash." Like, yeah, you can be doing bad in one tournament, or one day. Maybe in the next one, you're just killing it. Like, you know, you have this switch going on and off in tournaments. A lot of people forget that when it comes to making the rank. Like, these people, Roundnet just dropped the rank top 25, I believe.
Oh, I want to talk to you about that.
And there's so much disagreements about that, dude.
I want to talk.
I just be like, I'm out of the rank. I'm not ranked.
Yeah, I had it. Do you think it's messed up? Do you think it's messed up that you're not top 25? Honestly,
100%.
I also think that.
That's 100%.
I think there are 3 people on the list that I think, yeah, they're top 50. They're not top 25. Like,
honestly, these people forget that this game is played by 2 people. You know, and honestly, I don't have the best luck lately on tournaments. I got dude, literally my 4 last tournaments. I've got fourth place.
you
in the
know,
last
hey,
4 tournaments.
Gus, you know what you should do?
So
You know what you should do? You should come down to Florida May 22nd and play advanced with me.
May 22nd.
You should come down to Florida May 22nd and play advanced with me.
Dude, honestly, I think I'm going to Miami, but I guess how long is it? Miami to Orlando?
It's
like
like
2 hours.
2-3 hours.
Yeah, around that.
2-3 hours.
I think I can make it work.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up right now. I'll
Yeah,
look
like-
up from my location to Miami right now. Ready? Watch this. Miami. Miami,
Yeah, dude, a
Florida.
lot of people forget about that.
It is a 3.5 hour drive.
The magic of the internet, people.
Nice.
Magic of the
Nice. Oh yeah, dude.
But
I just
calm
got
down,
mad
man.
when that happened.
It'll be lit.
Dude, the rank is so bad. It's so bad. I mean, they did a really good job, you know, trying to figure it out, to make it work, you know. And obviously, the hard work behind it is appreciated. I just don't think it's the most accurate rank. Actually, like,
Do you
these
think?
people have.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's all you,
What's
Lou.
your question?
I was gonna say, do you think that the rankings would be more fair if they were team based rather than individual player based?
Well, it depends because mostly, like, people don't have a consistent partner ever,
Mhm.
you know?
Unless you're
It's more
pro.
about, like,
Unless you're pro.
yeah, unless you're pro. So, like, it's pretty much like if you're in between expert and advanced or intermediate, you just basically play with whoever wants or whoever cans, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I'll say this about the ranking. These people rank OG players that they already retire. Like, these people haven't played for years or maybe a year or so. People that haven't even played in the past 6 months, and they were based on all the data from the past 6 months, and they still get ranked. I just don't think that's fair, and they still did it. So that's why I'm saying it's not accurate at all.
Yeah, there was a lot of. I was talking to Brent about it, and he said there were a few people on there that was just because they had the OGs of Raleigh Roundnet there. It was Brent, Sam Bunzy, and Jake Dome that made the list. They made 3 lists, and then they like pretty much combined them, and then like did that. And there were some people on there that just got on there out of pure OG respect and not skill level. Right? I definitely think Gus should have been on that list. I'm not gonna say top 10 or anything, but probably top 20. Top 20.
I'd say
yeah.
top 20.
Like, and there are people on the list that I don't think are as good as Gus is. But that's just my opinion.
Also, my opinion is a lot of people have been playing this game for a year, 2 years, 3 years. I mean, there's a little community of new players that has less than a year that are better than people that have been playing this game for forever.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, that's the reason I say I should be in the list because, dude, I'm not the best. I'm not even as good as I want to be right now, but, dude, I've worked hard. Like, my first tournament, 4th place, second tournament, 3rd place, and so on. And I literally got so obsessed with the game, so in love with it, that I was literally just grinding, like hitting the ball against the wall just to be, setting. And I was a fanboy. I wanted to be the best. And, dude, we only play, like 2 months playing intermediate, and then another 2 months we were playing advanced. Now we're playing advanced, almost expert. So it's just about, I worked so hard for it, and it seemed like they didn't notice it, or I do it, if people want to call it that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I definitely agree with you that there's a bunch of people that are new to the sport that have been playing for like less than a year, that they show up and they're already expert, or whatever, and that comes back to them playing with these expert people constantly, right? Like they had friends who were playing who were expert, and they were like, okay, cool, let me come try it out. And then so they just started playing with them, and they got really good. Tommy Drake is a great great example of that, where he was playing with Gabe Fincione. Gabe Fincione is, I think, one of the best players in the country. Not gonna lie, and he just learned from Gabe Fincione. He had that exposure the whole time. So then when he came to NC State, he was just clapping kids.
New Jersey's bad, dude.
New Jersey's good. I think New Jersey's probably the best spike ball state. Or top three.
Yeah, top 3. Top 1 is Utah. Top 2, Texas.
Utah's not as good as it used to be, man. Utah's not as good as it used to be.
What are you even talking about, dude? Top 1.
Are you kidding me? I think Colorado outranks Utah.
Well, hold up. If you're talking about community-wise, and how big the community is,
okay, community-wise, Utah. I'm talking skill level. I'm talking skill level.
You still have it. You still have it.
Really? Dude,
Texas still dirty though. They're really aggressive. Texas guy.
Texas is
really
good. There's actually I got to play against a Texas player. He when I first started playing in Raleigh, like a few months into playing, this guy from Texas came to a Raleigh pickup, and seeing how Texas plays is insane, because their serve is to this, like his serve, he said he was advanced in Texas. To this day, his serve is the fastest serve I've ever seen in my life. It like
who's that?
I forgot his name. Florida? I forget. No, this was when I was in Raleigh. He came to like pick up twice, and then just didn't come anymore.
Was the guy using a mask, wearing a mask every time I play?
Yeah, he served on me.
I know who.
He served on me. It was to this day the fastest serve I've ever seen. So I was like, oh my gosh, it was wild. All right, we've been going for about 50 minutes. All right, we've been going for a while.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to call it. This podcast has made me want to go out and hit some serves, practice a little bit.
Understandable.
You know.
Yeah.
And yeah. So.
Closing thoughts for spike ball in general.
I have one, and then Gus, you can go. Gus is trash at spike ball. You know, shouldn't. He should retire right now. Can't play.
Yeah.
You're a bubble.
Dude, honestly, I will just say spike ball honestly is the best sport right now in the freaking world, dude. I
wait,
really
one more thought before we close out. I'm so sorry. What do you see for the future of spike ball, Gus?
Dude, it's gonna get there. It's gonna get as good as ultimate frisbee, or even better.
Do you see it in the Olympics in the next like decade?
Working on it, dude. I haven't seen ultimate frisbee actually getting into it, but so far Roundnet, because spike ball is the brand, but Roundnet is the sport. Mm-hmm. Roundnet really for Roundnet is really working on it. They actually even created an international organization so they can actually make it to the Olympics. You just need to, make a different equipment, just not plastic, something more professional.
Oh yeah.
And they could definitely make the Olympics.
I definitely think as the sport evolves, its equipment is going to become a bit more professional, a bit more reliable.
Do you think spike ball is going to switch it, or do you think spike ball as a company will grow with it, or they'll just keep trying to sell their plastic sets, which is what we use now?
Remember that actually spike ball, besides Slammo, because actually Slammo is just here, but spike ball is like a worldwide brand. Like you can, a lot of people buy spike ball from anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
There's spike ball communities from not every single country, but there's a good amount of countries that has literally the same spike ball community, like Indonesia, for example, or Puerto Rico, or literally like Mexico has a Roundnet community, Colombia has one, and so on. So I think spike ball, like just the name spike ball, is gonna get bigger, 100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think I think Spikeball as a company definitely has the potential to become really, really big, but I think right now they have an opportunity to evolve the sport even further and to have their foot and their hand, or their foot and their hand, have their hand in the formation of the rules going forward and how things are standardized. So, and I think if Spikeball isn't going to step up to the plate and do that, other companies will. Nike is probably going to.
In the hypothetical case, we say that Roundnet goes to the Olympics, then yeah.
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 I do. I wish that. I really wish the Hispanic community was a little bit bigger here in the U.S. Honestly, I'm like one of 100 only Hispanic in the whole community, and I kind of want to see like more Hispanics coming out. Speaking Spanish while in the games, because it's just a thought. I just want to like see it happen, and actually will make me happy a little bit, because it's literally all people, like white people and stuff like that. I would like to see more like different gender, like no genders, different like cultures in the game here in the US. But
Spikeball, I think Spikeball needs that culture. Not gonna lie, it's very it's very like white based. It's yeah, I definitely agree with you, Gus. I think Spikeball definitely needs that culture. All right, Gus, do you have any final thoughts before we close out this episode?
Any final thought? It'll be. I'm not that good in Spikeball either, but I'm going to be. And Kevin is not that good either. He thinks he cuts, but he doesn't. But
word! Really? You weren't saying that when I was no touch acing you. All I'm saying.
Pull up.
Oh, bro, pull up on the 22nd. Pull up on the 22nd. Right. We'll be partners, but we'll have a problem. All right. We'll be partners, but we'll have a problem.
I think that concludes this week's episode of the Daybreak Podcast. Thank you, Gus, for coming on to our show.
Thanks for inviting me on. I appreciate it. It's kind of fun. My first
of course.
ever.
Yeah.
I just think it's a really good experience.
It's super fun. For everyone watching, all of our social medias will be in the description down below, as well as the link to our Discord server, which is now fully operational and running for the community. So if you want to come in and say hi and chat with us, come on down. Other than that, thank you for watching, and till next week, this has been the Daybreak Podcast. Good night.